Hi everyone, it is me again doing Bible study with me, Teresa Sky. How is everyone doing? I hope that you are having a great night, day, wherever part of the day it is with where you're at. excuse me. Open your books to Book of Romans, where we left off. I'm gonna do chapters 3 and 4 today. Go over the notes. This may be a quick one. This may be a quick video today. It may not be the usual 40 minutes. Normally, my videos run 40, 50 minutes, so bear with me. Also coming soon is me and my brother is going to be doing some online preaching to you guys from the Bible, teaching it correctly, because a lot of places don't teach it correctly. So we just want to, but there are a lot who do teach it correctly. So we want to be in the lot who teach it correctly. And we'll be doing a video on that pretty soon. Possibly next week or the week after. So, like, pretty soon. And my brother may throw in some stuff from the Quran. We're not Muslim, but some of the things in the Quran, kind of goes well with the Holy Bible. It has a positive message. Not everything in the Quran is something we agree with, but there are some things that we do agree with. And we'll get into that possibly next week or week after. I would highly suggest that if you are a new Christian or if you're a new person of faith, stick to reading the Bible first. Stick to studying that first. Don't go into other books, because you get confused and you get lost. So wait till you're at least mature in your faith. And you'll know that you're mature in your faith when you're not easily persuaded, by skeptics or any other religion to turn away from God. Some people think that they're mature in their faith until they actually run across that situation. So, God said even the best will fall, sometimes. So, yeah. I would suggest stick to reading the Bible until you get that down pat and you're good and you're mature in your faith. And that could take a while. That's not gonna that's not gonna happen in a couple of days. That could take years. So stick with that. Then if you want to, after you become mature in your faith, if you want to read other things, I would say stick with the Quran, the Torah. The Torah, which is the Jewish book. The other stuff, just leave it alone. Like, some of the stuff I've read is like, in these, like, other religious books, is like, what is they even trying to put in people's heads? But the devil be busy. So, just like God made his book, the devil got to come out there with his stuff and try to confuse people. I personally do not believe that the Quran is a book from God, or however, I do think that whoever wrote it took some things from the Holy Bible. And they took a lot of things, because the Quran actually, let me see, in a way that's like, I'm trying to explain it. The Quran actually has a lot of similarities to the Holy Bible. Like, it talks about Abraham and Moses. It even sometimes go into more details than the Bible does. But when it went on to say that Jesus didn't die on the cross and he died of old age, I'm like, yeah, nah, let's had to leave that alone. Because anybody, any book, anything that tries to take away what Jesus did for us on the cross is demonic. Leave it alone. you know, or got some demonic stuff in it. The Quran, I would not necessarily say it's of God, but however, it's it does have some things from the Holy Bible in it, and it does have a lot of good like messages in it on how to treat people, and it's not what how the extremist Muslims you know try to make you think that the Quran tells them to go around killing people. The Quran does not tell you tell people like, read it for yourself. It does not. It really does not. It does not say go around killing people. It says it's one of his laws is the main laws that the Christian Bible have. Do not murder, do not kill. you know, you didn't give their life to take it, And when you do that, you go against God. And you don't want to go against God because, God gonna get you. And you ain't gonna like it when he punish you, But we'll talk more about that this week or next week. But let's get into the book of Romans, chapter 3. And again, this is Paul that's still talking. Excuse me. The Jews have been trusted with God's words. Us being unfaithful does not make God unfaithful. God is true and every human being is a liar. Some say because flaws bring out God's righteousness more and more, that we should do evil so that God may be so that good may be the result. This is utterly wrong, and whoever says this, condemnation is not just. So yeah. I know some people will say or take offense when someone may say that they're a liar or whatever. We all lie. I mean, we do, and we all have to answer to God for whatever lies that we tell while we're on earth, there's not one person that has not lied. You could call it a little lie, whatever, but there's no little lies with God, God appreciate honesty. So, I mean, try not to lie, of course, but, sometimes it's human nature. If you do find yourself in a situation where you have to lie, like, if you, for example, you have to lie to, like, survive, or you have to lie to save your life, that'll be something different. God forgives you for it, It's not like it's not like an unforgivable sin. The only unforgivable sin is blasphemy, blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. A lot of people say it's killing yourself, but it ain't killing yourself. From what I read, it's blasphemy. Of course, don't kill yourself because you're going to go to hell, you know. Because that's murder. You know, God said do not kill. When he said don't kill, he meant yourself too. You kill yourself, you going to go to hell, you know. So, yeah, that's not something you want to do. Like, people might want to kill themselves to try to get away from their problems. But you will have more problems than hell. So, got to think about that. You want to deal with what you got up here? Or you want to go down with those demons where they poking you and tormenting you and scaring you like for all eternity, and nobody can wake you up from that. Nobody can save you from that torture. You know, so ask yourself, want to deal with these problems, or you want to deal with those problems down below? I don't think you want to. I don't know. But yeah, there's not one perfect person on the face of this earth. The only somebody who was perfect, and that was Yeshua. And condemnation. Every now and then I throw in definitions too. So, if there's anything that I say that or a word that I say that you don't understand, don't hesitate to say it in the comment section or message me. Don't be embarrassed, you know, to ask a question, because sometimes your question is a question that someone else may be having, but they may be too shy to ask it. So, you know, there's no shame in asking a question. There's no dumb question, you know. But when Paul says that this is utterly wrong, and whoever says this, condemnation is not just. Condemnation meaning a very strong disapproval resulting. Wait a minute. You know what? I read that wrong. Know that what happens when I do these things at night. I need to start doing my Bible studies during the day when I'm thinking more clearly. I read this wrong. Okay. So I thought I wrote it wrong for some reason, but okay, so let's start over. Paul says this is utterly wrong, and whoever says this, condemnation is just. So, condemnation is a very strong disapproval resulting in punishment or sentencing. So, Paul is saying, whoever is telling you that like Paul saying, whoever is telling you to do evil because it will result in good, that whatever condemnation, whatever punishment or sentencing that they get is just, because it's wrong to tell anyone to do evil. But apparently in those days, because you know the religion and everything was fairly new to a lot of people, so they was doing a lot of things wrong, and Paul was just in these letters he just was calling them out like, don't do that. Paul continues to say, no one is righteous, not one. No one is declared righteous in God's sight by the works of the law, but through the law we become conscious of our sin. So a lot of people are like stuck to the law, which is the law of Moses. And I totally get it for some people because they still have the guilt of their sin and they want to like hold on to the law, but the law of Moses was to punish people. It wasn't to give people grace. God knew that no human could do all 630 of those laws. But because they disobeyed him so many times, and because they were so disrespectful to him, he gave them that law to do as punishment. All 630 of those laws. Which resulted in more sin, because when they tried to do it, they didn't do it correctly. And so it just resulted in like making God even more mad, like, so but yeah, so we are not righteous by the works of the law. However, through the law, we become conscious of our sin. Through the law, reading it, going through all of them, if you ever could get the chance, because they do have all of the 630 laws, they do have them online. If you ever get the chance, you can do that and just go through all of them, and just like on your own time, you'd be amazed at some of the laws they had to do. But reading it can make you conscious of your sin. It can make you like aware of things that you were doing that you didn't necessarily think was a sin. A lot of things we just do things naturally as humans. And we don't be like, okay, is that a sin? Like, we don't really be thinking like it's a sin. We don't even be knowing that it's a sin. But then, like, when you go through the laws, which I haven't made it through all 630 of the laws, but I read a good couple hundred of them, of the laws. And yes, it is very laborious to try to keep up with all of that. And it's not even humanly possible. God knew that, But the people in their sin were just so guilty. They felt so guilty. They did it and they tried to do it, but they didn't do it correctly. And it just resulted in more guilt and shame. But then Jesus came, Yeshua, and he took away that guilt and that shame, to where you don't have to do all 630. You're not under that law anymore, to where you have to do those things. Like when they had to sacrifice animals and stuff. Like, you don't have to do that. Some people, I don't know. Some people was thinking that they still had to do that. And you can't do that because that's wrong. You don't go around killing innocent animals. Just, God don't want he never wanted it in the first place, to be honest. It was punishment. It was punishment for us. It was punishment for humans. Because we were disobedient. Our ancestors were very disobedient to God. But Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice. That's why they called him the sacrificial lamb. He's the ultimate sacrificial lamb. So that means after him, you don't have to sacrifice anything, because he sacrificed himself for us. And when you think about that, it's very beautiful. So, Paul continues to say, Jew and Gentile both have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and are justified freely by God's grace through the redemption that came through Yeshua. Yahweh presented Yeshua as a sacrifice of atonement through the shedding of his blood to be received by faith. He did this to show us his righteousness, because before, in his forbearance, he left sins unpunished. He showed us his righteousness at the present time to be just, and the one who justifies those who have faith in Yeshua. A person, Jew or Gentile, is justified by faith, apart from the works of the law. God will justify the circumcised by faith, and the uncircumcised through the same faith. The law is not nullified, but is upheld. So let's go over a few definitions. Yahweh presented Yeshua as a sacrifice of atonement. Atonement, meaning reparation for a wrong or injury. Reparation, meaning making amends for a wrong one has done by paying money or by helping them in some other way. So Yahweh made amends. He made an atonement and amends through us and God through the shedding of his blood to be received by faith. So to be received by faith means you have to believe that that's what he did, and that's why he did it, in order for it to work for your benefit and on your behalf. Yeshua did this to show, Yahweh did this to show us his righteousness, because before, in his forbearance, he left sins unpunished. Forbearance, meaning patience, self-control, restraint, and tolerance. So in his tolerance, in his restraint, in his forbearance, he left sins unpunished. He showed us his righteousness at the present time to be just in the one who justifies those who have faith in Yeshua. Yeshua, his son. Righteousness, being morally right or justifiable. So, in his morality, his righteousness at the time, he showed us his righteousness, his morality at the present time to be just and the one who justifies those who have faith in Yeshua. So his righteousness, he showed us that, he was doing the right thing. He was being just. And he justified those who have faith in his son, Yeshua. A person, Jew or Gentile, is justified by faith apart from the works of the law. So, whether you are a Jew, whether you're a non-Jew, you is justified by faith apart from the works of the law. So you're justified by faith, but not by the works of the law.